Hi, I'm Chantel Rodriguez from Mill Creek Township.
And I'm Jessica Stutzman. Welcome to the Mill Creek Government Channel.
Today we're speaking with Tim and Chelsea Ackerman, Executive Director of Blended Spirits Ranch, to learn how they're using equine therapy to support healing, connection, and wellness across our community. Tim and Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to get right into it pretty much. Where is Blended Spirits located, and also what kind of organization is Blended Spirits Ranch?
So yeah, Blended Spirits Ranch, we're located in Fairview Township, right on McCrae Road. If anybody's familiar with the Fairview High School football field, our driveway is just right across the road from that. So Blended Spirits Ranch, we're a 50c3 nonprofit organization. We provide mental health services to members of our community through the methods and modalities of equine-assisted psychotherapy.
Awesome. And you're mentioning Blended Spirits Ranch being a nonprofit, and what is your mission that you have that really makes people want to come here to Blended Spirits Ranch?
So the mission of Blended Spirits Ranch is to provide a safe, structured environment for individuals that are struggling with various challenges in their life. I mentioned equine-assisted therapy. That's what we do. We do equine-assisted learning. And the mission behind that is to be able to have a great place, a wonderful, peaceful environment for people to come in and be able to interact with our horses and to be able to find the opportunity for healing.
Mm-hmm. And the history of Blended Spirits Ranch, can you tell me not only the history of the organization, but how you guys got involved as well?
Yes, so the Blended Spirits Ranch, it was founded in 2007. It's a vision of two sisters. They both had the same passions and they blended together. That's part of the kind of the reason why the way it's named the way it is. They both had a passion for rescuing abused and neglected horses, and particularly youth that have experienced trauma, and trying to find a way to be able to incorporate those two things and provide healing, like I'd mentioned, to them. So for almost 18 years now, Blended Spirits Ranch has been doing that work. And so a little bit about our background. I mean, I got into horses when I was very young at another local organization at WLD Ranch. That's where I learned about horses, got involved, and throughout that time I had a horse of my own for a while when I was in high school, and always wanted to have a career working with horses, and sometimes it's kind of in our area, it's a little bit difficult to be able to do that, and so went off to college. Chelsea and I got married and then went into the military, and 25 years later, I'm now doing the work that we're doing here, and it's all from Chelsea's background, starting out with Blended Spirits. So if you want to tell them about your history there.
Sure. I was working in outpatient mental health for quite a while, and just somehow happened upon Blended Spirits website and set up a meeting to meet with Sandy, and I never left. I've been there for about 4 years. Started out just volunteering, and now I'm a staff therapist out there and program coordinator, so
That's
it's
wonderful.
amazing.
Yeah, and you can tell you guys have such a passion for it. Mm-hmm. The human connection, the equine connection, and it fits. This is like a puzzle piece that fits together.
It does.
So
It's something we could have never planned to be in the position that we're in. We feel very blessed to be where we're at. I started volunteering about a little over a year ago with the Veterans Program out there, and through the time that I've been there, and Chelsea's 4 years there, Sandy, the former executive director, she's been there for a number of years and was ready to retire, and she proposed it to us, and we kind of thought, wow, we would have never imagined that would be something that would be out there for us, and like I said, we're extremely blessed to be able to be in the position that we're in, to be able to carry on the vision that she and her sister started.
Yeah,
that is wonderful.
And could you explain to people who maybe don't know what this is exactly, but what is EAP and what is EAL?
Sure.
I'm not going to even try to butcher those words. If you could just explain to our residents exactly what that is.
Absolutely. I mean, that is always the first question I get asked if someone is calling and just, kind of inquiring about what we do out there. What is equine-assisted therapy? What do you do? The simplest way I can think, as far as from being in an outpatient setting myself, is we're taking that outpatient therapy session and we're putting it in an arena with a horse. We also have an equine specialist that will come into the sessions as well. But that is the basics of it. So we still keep the foundational components of, of providing therapy. We do intake and assessment. We provide, opportunities to create personalized treatment goals for every individual. But then we utilize equine activities to kind of help, work towards those goals that each individual is wanting. And just being in that environment and with that horse, you watch from the very beginning, the first day they step in there, that relationship starts to build. So as far as equine-assisted learning, it's a little different. We don't need to utilize a therapist. It's definitely still an experiential learning process, but we'll use it for groups. We have residential treatment facilities that will come in. We've had a school-based program that started this year where they bring in a group of kids. So it's more of utilizing this very similar activities to just kind of help them learn different life tools, how to handle obstacles in life, different ways that they can work through a crisis, with stress, different stress tools and that kind of stuff. So.
And how is EAP different from conventional therapy? Someone going to an office, I know that's the biggest difference, is
Sure.
that you're out on the ranch with
Yeah.
horses outside. But what are the differences that you're seeing?
Sure. So like you were saying, just being out, in the arena, we do have an indoor arena, but the doors are usually open if it's not cold outside. So, there's that access to nature. And a lot of times too, if it's a nice day, we'll go out in the pasture, and that's where we hold sessions. So differences obviously is that, and then also the utilization of the horse. Horses are pretty incredible creatures. They have this just natural ability. They're very attuned to human emotion. So as we have individuals that come in, maybe struggling with how they're feeling, it provides an environment where they can feel comfortable, and it's a non-judgmental environment where they can kind of just feel comfortable to open up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not as familiar with horses, but I can imagine or liken it to like a therapy dog situation where it's like an icebreaker, but then it also makes, and again, I'm picturing like, with children when they read, to some of the therapy dogs, they feel connected, they feel open, they feel accepted. And so that's kind of what I'm picturing. But horses are just such a majestic, magnificent creature. And again, I am not as familiar. So to hear that they're so in tune with human emotion, like that is fascinating and like really brand new information to me. So,
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing process to watch.
yeah.
Yeah, the example you gave, like with a child reading to a therapy dog, a lot of times, mental health therapy, there's a lot of stigma behind seeking help. A lot of people don't want to go with that. There's a lot of stigmas associated with their diagnoses, if they have one, or just the way they're feeling. So to go into a conventional office, that can be very intimidating to do that. We're blessed with a beautiful facility. We have a pond on the property. We have all sorts of different wildlife that we can observe. We have a swing gazebo where if we want to go out and sit out there and observe the horses in the pasture, it's kind of optimized for just relaxation, kind of letting your guard down. Horses can be intimidating to a lot of people because we have a wide range of horses. We have some that are taller than I am, and we have one that's really little. But kind of like with a child reading to the dog, the horse can almost act like a mediator. Where Chelsea had mentioned that there's a licensed professional therapist in the arena. Oftentimes there's an equine specialist in there as well, but that horse is a third party. So sometimes the client may be talking to us while we're in the arena, but they're looking at the horse, they're grooming the horse, they're connecting with that horse, and so the horse is there to listen in the same manner. But what's amazing too with these horses is you can't lie to them at all.
Yeah.
So it's hard. We as people are really good at not being honest with ourselves and honest with other people about how we're feeling. Sometimes we don't even know how to express how we're feeling. The horse is so well in tune to being able to pick up on if we're nervous, if we're anxious. And sometimes too, we'll have times where once the client has a very good connection with their horse, I mean, it's an intimate bond that they make, where the client may say, yeah, I'm fine, or that didn't bother me, or whatever we might be talking about. And the horse, some of them, they all have their own little personality traits, and a lot of times they'll just pin their ears and look at the client like, really?
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable sounding, but that's what part of what the equine specialist does is, as I'm one of the equine specialists, my job in there is to monitor the horse. It's providing for safety, providing for the practical measures of everything involved in that, but it's also watching the cues of the horse, little things that I can pay attention to the horse, the client paying attention to the horse, obviously, and then the therapist can be working directly in the therapy space with the client, and I may see something the horse does that the therapist doesn't, and I can interject a comment and draw attention to that, and it's an amazing, it's like I said, it's very hard to describe. It's something you almost have to see to really see that connection, how the horse really does the work. Because sure, a licensed professional counselor has many years of clinical training, and to do that, the horse is the one that's doing the work. They're the ones that actually oftentimes are leading the session, if that sounds kind of amazing, but the horse we may have a plan of how we're going to approach a particular session for a particular client, and the horse will take us in another direction. 99% of the time, that's what we needed to do.
And that happens almost all the time.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing. Like, even just hearing about it, because I had no idea about any of this, or that horses could be used for therapy like this. So this is all eye-opening to me, and just fantastic to even know that horses can know exactly how you're feeling in that moment. Because I know I would feel intimidated going to a office and seeing a therapist being there, but horses is such a great incorporation of therapy, and also your love of nature and animals. So it's really beautiful to see that.
Yeah, and I think when you talked about when you're facing the horse and talking to the horse, it made me think of something I learned recently in communication, where females tend to connect face to face, where males tend to connect facing outward toward something. So like whether it's if again fishing, like you're facing, the two males are facing the same direction, or you're watching a game or something of that nature, but females are connecting face to face, males are connecting outward. And so I'm kind of picturing all of that tying together with this particular form of therapy. So that makes perfect sense. Yeah, wonderful. Do you want to talk about any of the therapy modalities that are utilized, like CBT, EMDR, DBR, complex trauma therapy?
So right now we have 3 therapists out there that are working with clients. We all have different trainings and certifications. So those are just some of the main ones that we do offer out there. Doing EMDR is pretty popular out there due to the level of trauma that we typically see. But yeah, it's the really awesome thing is that any of those typical, like, traditional therapeutic modalities you can take out to the arena with the horse and the client.
So who do you provide services for? What region or what counties do you service?
So we provide services for any individuals in the northwestern Pennsylvania region, and even in the tri-state area. So if you can just imagine, Erie, Crawford, Warren, Venango, and into Chautauqua and into Ashtabula County, we have clients, have clients from all over the region. And so that could be individual clients as therapy, or it could be different groups and organizations that want to come in and utilize the services as well. So pretty broad area. Within equine-assisted therapy, it's a pretty niche application of equine-assisted, or niche application of therapy. So there's a handful of facilities similar to ours in like the eastern United States. It's very popular in the South, and it's more prevalent in the South, more prevalent in the West, just because of the natural cultural heritage with horses. But for northwestern PA, we're the only organization that does equine-assisted therapy.
Wow.
I know you mentioned like a lot of people from different areas coming into your facilities, but do you offer any team building methods as far as for any other businesses or other nonprofits that are looking to help within their team and kind of grow and have therapy in that way?
Yes, we do. So we, like within the equine assisted learning program, When we have a group come in, it's either 6 to 8 individuals within a group. We usually do a 6 to 8 week program where it's 2 hours once a week for 6 or 8 weeks. All of the activities that there's a certain progression for our first 3 weeks that we do, but then depending on what we feel we need to work on within the group, we have a huge toolbox we have a lot of props and different things in the arena that we can use for building obstacles and things like that. And all of that we've adapted to be able to do like corporate team building training. Because at the core of like human interaction, that's what we're trying to improve people's mental health. But that's based on relationship, communication, mutual understanding. So that can be translated into, within the workplace environment to be able to do team building. So yeah, we do offer that as a service as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just reading, off of our notes here, and there's so many things here. Erie VA substance abuse and recovery program, postpartum depression and anxiety groups. That is phenomenal. The AHN Chill Project, Fairview School District, veterans counseling, individual counseling, veteran couples counseling. Have all of these programs existed for the entirety of the organization, or are some of them, more newer?
Some of them are newer. The postpartum group actually is a group that will be started here later in July, and it was an amazing blessing to get a grant from the Welcome Club in Erie to be able to start that. So that will be actually our first pilot group for that group of individuals.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
I know. And so if we have, somebody who has postpartum, how do they get in touch with you? Do they hear about this program? Do they reach out to their doctor? How do people get referred to you?
Sure. So they can reach right out to the ranch. Go to the ranch website. It's blendedspiritsranch.org. They can also contact either Tim or I directly. So.
Yeah. And I want to talk about fundraising because we all know animals, horses, it's a very expensive venture. And then you're adding on a layer of mental health counseling. So what are some, initiatives coming up, events coming up, fundraisers coming up? Again, we want to send people to your organization to, get help and, get the therapy that they need. But we also, we might have people in the audience who feel, the energy and feel inclined to come volunteer as well. So.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on this summer as far as fundraising goes. As you mentioned, like horses are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
We have 10.2 horses. We have 10 full-size horses and then the one mini. There's probably a picture that'll come up with Mini Cooper. He's really great. He's really great with the kids, but he's also some adults really like working with him too. But
I would love.
Oh yeah, he's a big hit. He's kind of our mascot, but he also works in the arena too. But horses are expensive. They eat a lot of food. We go through thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. I mean, almost 10,000 pounds of hay and feed throughout the year, just to be able to maintain the horses. Vet bills, all those sorts of things, the overhead within that. And then like you alluded to with the mental health us being a mental health facility, there's several different insurance policies that we need to carry that are outside of a conventional setting. So yeah, our expenses are always pretty high. We've always had good supporters that have been extremely generous to us over the years. This year we're kind of launching a summer giving campaign. We have a big goal of trying to raise $40,000 by October 1st. It's a big number. So we're going to do a yard sale. We have a paint and sip night coming up.
Just the amount of programs and availability that you're going to be doing for the public and the communities that you serve. It's such a beautiful story, and it's going to be a busy summer, and I really do hope you exceed that $40,000 goal more than you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our show is just about coming to a close here, so I just wanted to ask, where can our viewers find out more information about you? Do you have a website, social media pages?
Yeah.
Yep. So Chelsea had mentioned it prior. It's at blendedspiritsranch.org. That's where you're going to be able to find all the information about the ranch. We have an events page on there. We're also on Facebook, and you just search Blended Spirits Ranch Equine-Assisted Therapy Center. We'll pop right up. And there'll be a logo that you guys will be able to recognize that you guys will probably see in the media, and then also at Blended Spirits Ranch on Instagram as well.
Tim and Chelsea, I just want to thank you guys for doing the work that you're doing. And like Chantel said, thank you for your service, and also thank you for, helping assist other veterans. And, again, people with mental health issues and postpartum and PTSD. What you're doing is such a noble thing, and you're just pouring your heart and soul into it. And so we want to thank you. We really want to help spread the message here. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
Yes.
Viewers, I wanted to thank you for joining us today for the conversation with Blended Spirits Ranch. To learn more about equine therapy programs and community outreach, visit blendedspiritsranch.org. Take care, and thank you for watching the Mill Creek Government Channel.